I'm Robert and I go to Skyline College, but what people don't know is that I cut hair at home. I go to Skyline College and this is my second year. As of now, I have no declared major, but next semester I'm really thinking about joining the radiology program. At school, usually Sab will pick me up and we'll just go to class, and after that, Tuesdays, Thursdays usually our date day. We just go out and eat. So cutting hair, it started when my auntie Lean, she gave me just a pair of clippers just for a present, just not even for my birthday. I was very meticulous about my hair. I would say middle school, and so I would just mess around on myself. I would really mess up, and you can even see it in my yearbooks. I'm bald. Starting on other people. After I started cutting my own hair, I got to the point where I was good enough to actually cut my friends and peers' hair. The first one that I've cut was actually my basketball coach. I would cut him up, and we wouldn't even be set in like a shop or a setup or anything. My first cut actually was behind the Geller library, just outdoors. I would actually be posted just in front of Macy's in the city and just give out free haircuts to whoever. I would have disposable clippers. I would cut up homeless people because might as well help out when you can. See whoever would be on the streets and just straight up ask them. And I would stay posted up 600 in front of Macy's and whatnot, and I would just do that maybe once, twice a week until security kicked me out. But then I would just keep coming, doing my thing, do what I can to help out. Might as well help myself to get some practice in. Mind you, this is the beginning of me cutting, so I would have maybe 5 regulars, and then I don't know how it happened, but then it was to a point where sometimes I'd have 3 people or so lined up whatever day, or just people watching, and it was always a value of mine to help out homeless people. Me and my friends would just always every year once a day around Christmas we buy 30 milkshakes and just hand them out. So I really feel that's kind of where it stemmed from. At the same time, I wasn't getting that much heads in. I wasn't fast enough. It was definitely discouraging at a point, just because of course I saw the improvement in my own skill, but I felt I wasn't getting as much clients as I should, to the point where I'm not being productive with my time. And being a high school student, you definitely want to make money. And that's not why I'm here for it, but then I felt of course my grades were slipping because I was trying to pursue this. But yeah, I felt that was my only sense of doubt. What made me snap out of it? Oh man, so I would say a sophomore. Being a sophomore, I'm the youngin', and prom season comes around, and I got all these cool kids, all the juniors and seniors coming to me. And honestly, I think that's what set it off, because after that, I was cutting from around the prom day. I clearly remember I was cutting definitely from 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's definitely where it started booming, because then I felt I'm getting no heads to wow, I'm getting an endless amount of heads. I started cutting myself, I would say 7th grade, and then 8th grade all the way up to sophomore year. I feel that's my practice stage. Things really started to pick up sophomore year is definitely when I thought I could take this somewhere. I have a really good support system, my girlfriend. My parents are actually pretty big believers, actually kind of my pops. But yeah, going to Barber College, it's not a matter of if I'm going, it's a matter of when. Of course, barbering is my passion, but then I want to pursue a career. My dream was to be a physical therapist for the Warriors, just to kind of tell the players hey, I cut hair too. So my first haircut, like I said, was my coach. Man, it was bad. It was bad. His haircuts were horrible. And honestly, today, being my first client, and of course we're really close, he gets free haircuts. Just as a thank you, and I'm sorry for all the bad haircuts I've given you to kind of get where I am. We're recording ourselves playing basketball, and then he'd be doing all these sick moves, right? And whatnot, making all these cool shots, but then in the comments, all you see is just roasting haircuts, and I'm just looking at that damn. He was a big supporter, and of course, it was unwarranted. Of course I knew, it wasn't as good as I wanted to be. It wasn't good at all. It was bad. But yeah, I never really like told my parents. I kind of just went out and did it. But my mom, I think she started noticing when kids were like lining up in my garage, and that's when she was like, oh, he's actually for real, like doing this stuff. And then of course my pops, like I'll cut him up every here and there. So like they're both definitely like big supporters of a great support system. This was my senior prom. It got to the point where I was booked. I was absolutely booked from whatever time all the way up until I had to get ready for my own prom. And, and then it was day of actually. I was like, I can't do it. And then he was like begging me, he's like, I'll pay you 40. He got to the point where he's like kind of like tearing up, like, of course I have a heart. Like I want somebody to be fresh for the prom. It was so booked to the point where he was my first cut of that day. I got to squeeze him in, but it was like at 4 a.m. Like this guy's walked to my house in the fog, and he came in his pajamas, and it was actually my mom. Like she's like, hey, you got people lining up. I'm like, oh my god. But it's just part of cutting hair. Gotta work for it, especially when you're not in the shops yet. You gotta prove yourself to all the real barbers. I feel like I've done this for so long. It's kind of like all I know. Like I do my homework before I do that, or after I do that, I get straight to cuts. So it's just something that I'm used to at this point. Barbering is just something that I really enjoy, and it's something that I think I could do up until I work on my career, or even concurrently. This is something that I'm definitely proud of. I built this up coming from like nothing. My first cut, like I said, was behind the library outdoors with some disposable clippers. Don't be scared of failure. Definitely go out and pursue it if you think you can make something of it.